You're listening to Stories Behind the Songs with Chris Blair. For more information, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at SBT Songs, or check us out at chrisblair.com. This week's guest comes to Nashville from South Carolina. She's going to talk about how she got started early on with music and how she's only been writing for about 6 years professionally in town. She was out on the road with Luke Bryan. Now she is headlining her own tour, Dive Bar Beauty Queen. We're going to talk about all kinds of great things, including some stories behind the songs of that album and just everything that she's got going on. This was so fun. Let's get to it. Here is Ashland Craft. Here we are back in Nashville at the listening room. Yes. Ashland Craft in the house. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sweaty this morning. It's hot outside.
It is but so hot.
I'm happy it's getting warmer.
Middle of summer. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I would rather have heat than cold, but it's that fine line of like, what's too much?
I know. First thing in the morning, you're like, woo, all right, I'm going to lose 10 pounds this morning, but it's good. It's really good.
Oh, man. Well, thank you for coming in. I'm excited to dive into your story and just share everybody a little bit more about you. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in a town called Piedmont, South Carolina.
Okay.
If you know where, like, if you're familiar with upstate South Carolina, you know where Greenville is. It's right south of there. So
okay,
it's just a little small town.
And was music always a part of your life?
For me personally, yes. I mean, it was just kind of a constant for me. I sang for whatever. I mean, I sang in church. I sang in daycare. And we weren't really surrounded by a ton of music.
Hold on. I got to dive into that. I've heard a lot of people say they've sang in church. I've never heard sang in daycare.
Daycare. So. Yeah, I grew up, we had a daycare down the street from us. And I mean, all of us girls, we love to dance. But then apparently I was caught under a table singing Onward Christian Soldiers. So that was like the first beginnings of, I guess, me singing. So yeah, daycare and church were the beginnings.
Okay. So is that like, did you ever have anything else that you wanted to do, or was music just kind of like, okay, this is what I was made?
I've always loved doing a little bit of everything, but I think music has always been the place that I felt like just most connected to.
Yeah.
So I'm that girl that loves to put my hands in a little bit of everything, but music is just kind of one of those first nature things for me. It's kind of almost like breathing or talking.
Yeah, I love it. So, all right. So then tell me the story of like what made you decide to move to Nashville, and when did you get here?
It was a journey for me to move to Nashville. I'd heard many stories about it, and I was gigging back home, and I really was honestly never going to make the move. I think I was a little scared to move to Nashville, and did The Voice actually in 2017, I believe it was. And then I took a year off from that. And then after that, I was like, I finally was just like, I've got to do something. I knew I couldn't stay home and I had my hair license, funny enough. I went to hair school, and cosmetology was kind of this plan B, so to speak. But the more I did it, the more I was like, this is not it. Music is it. So therefore made the decision to say, to hell with it, and let's go to Nashville. Let's see what Nashville has to offer. And it's been worth it, I will say. Yeah. It was a scary journey, but it was well needed for where I was at, I think.
Yeah. Well, you've accomplished a lot since you've been here.
Thank you.
I can't wait to kind of dive into touring with Luke Bryan and playing at the Opry and just all these amazing things that you've done. But before that, let's dive into the album.
Okay.
Getting dressed up, going out, just play the songs and all of this. Where did the inspiration of the album title come from?
So Dive Bar Beauty Queen, first of all, I just feel like that is me to a T. If you know me, you know for the past 11 years, that is kind of where my heart has been, is in dive bars and honky tonks. But wrote that song when I was actually, I think, around 19 years old. And we did not have, I think, that general idea until almost towards the end of the album. We were kind of putting our favorite songs together, and I was kind of scared to show them being the label. I was really scared to show them Dive Bar Beauty Queen. And for whatever reason, they took to it, and they were big champions for the song. I was not at the time, because I was like, you can hear the teenage Ashland coming through in that song, but I think it was just the most raw, genuine version of myself. It was the only song I've written completely by myself. So that ended up just kind of being the flagship for the whole project. And what better way to kind of, put your stamp on things than with a song you wrote completely by yourself. I think it's just no more way to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
and speaking of, so you wrote that one by yourself, but also 10 out of the 11 songs you wrote.
yes, I was a part of. Yeah.
Talk about like, what is your creative process like?
My creative process is a lot of talking. I think building bonds in the writer's room is super important to me. I'm not the type of person that can kind of clock in and clock out, so to speak. I want to get inside your brain, whoever I'm writing with. I want to know how you tick, kind of what your thought process is, but I also just want to know your story and what drives you. And I really think that is kind of what drives the song. So I feel like everybody's kind of different. Some people love to just get in and hop on an idea and roll with it. And I think for me, it's all about searching for something that sticks and that feels easy to sing, in a sense of like it just feels honest to you. So it's not always easy, that is for sure, but it's always a process. I feel like there's never kind of one way that we do things in the room, for me specifically. So it's all just about the feeling in the day, I think.
So are you more of a lyric person, idea person, or melody?
I feel like my strong suit is more melody driven.
Okay.
And I think I just kind of compare myself to a lot of other writers here. I'm like, that is a writer, but I really love melodies. I think growing up, I was the girl that was like singing the guitar parts along with the song.
Yeah.
So for me, I love a hooky part. I still love lyrics, but I feel like mine are probably a little more dumbed down than a lot of people. So I think that's why I love co-writing, is just kind of hearing how everybody else would say it versus little old Piedmont over here. So yeah.
Very cool. Okay, you talked about when you were choosing the songs for the album, you were kind of afraid to show them to the label. Let's dive into that. Partnering with Leo 33.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Leo 33, they are a godsend. Natalie Osborne over there, her and Daniel Lee are kind of part of the A&R, and not kind of, they are the A&R over there, and they are phenomenal. But Natalie Osborne, I had kind of known in the past through just seeing each other here and there, and then also working with Brothers Osborne. And fortunately, she had kind of let me in on the secret that a new and up-and-coming label was coming out, and I love working with her, and she felt really passionate about maybe me meeting the team over there to see what could happen. So that went on for about probably a year, and then I finally signed with them. And it was just so cool to champion a new label. And they just have a new way of doing things. I think it's so fresh, but they are so on the money with everything they're doing. So yeah, it's been a blessing. It's been a godsend.
Yeah. So take me back, like where did they first hear you? How did it come about? I know a lot of the listeners are aspiring writers and new to town or whatever. And they're always looking for the, how the angle of like, how do you do it in this town now?
How do you meet people? Right. Yeah. Well, I feel like that was a kind of a long-standing, growing relationship between Natalie and I, but we had met through writers' rounds, such as, Listening Room and Losers, and, just everywhere I could play, I feel like I was trying to play, and also posted on social media. I'm not the greatest at that, but I do try to put myself out on that platform as well. So I think we ended up meeting just through probably a writer's round one night that she had heard. And I think after that we had kind of chatted a little bit more, and they came out to some shows and around, and it just felt like everything clicked. So I think that's so important, is finding the people that you truly click with in this town. I think that makes you go a lot further in a sense. Yeah,
I love it. I want to dive into some stories behind the songs.
Yes.
But before we do, I want to talk a little bit about, so Dive Bar Beauty Queen, there's different things that people are doing now, like you see people just not really doing albums. sometimes, and
Right.
they're doing like, just putting a song out every 6 to 8 weeks. And then they'll kind of put an EP or an album together from that later, or just dropping a full album. What was the thought process behind that? And then I also want to know, like, going through and like picking those songs from start to finish, which, by the way, a great album.
Thank you
I've
so
been
much.
listening to it on repeat, getting
you're-
ready for this, and it's really good. But what is it like when your fans listen to that? What do you want them to know about you?
Yeah. I think throughout the process, my main thing is trying to like wear my heart on my sleeve with this music and not trying to portray myself as anything that I'm not or a sound that I'm not. I think the last thing I want to do is chase anything. I think when you're kind of wholeheartedly yourself, that's when you get your best product. So that being said, this whole process was, I think, just about songs. It was definitely a team effort with Leo 33 and my producers, Lee Starr and Jess Gromit. I have my ideas of what I think, my favorite songs are. So I think it was all just everybody kind of picking theirs and coming together and then saying, okay, what do we like about this? What do we not like about it? Do we feel like this best showcases you as an artist, as a person? And for Dive Bar Beauty Queen specifically, just that song specifically, I'm like, well, it can't get any more me than this. I mean, this is it to a T. For me, it was all about showcasing the music that I grew up on, the sounds that I grew up on that inspired me still, and also about like towing that line between, I dare say, traditional, but also fresh and new. So it was all about trying to keep that very delicate balance for me, because although I love the newer stuff coming out, I just think there was something so timeless and classic about the older music. I always say I'm stuck in the 90s, early 2000s, maybe a little bit too. So for me, it was just like, does this evoke emotion for me? Does this, stand for the people like me? And I'm just a little country girl from Piedmont, South Carolina, and I just love playing music. So that was the main thing for this record, was for people to have a good time and for people to connect. So I think from then on, it was just about dwindling all these songs down. Again, I'm not super commercially driven, but I wanted to kind of toe that line between, songs like Yard Sale, where it's very story driven, and then also Kick Rock's Cowboy, which is a little more commercial. So I wanted a good mix with everything.
Well, let's start diving into songs.
Let's do it.
Let's start with Yard Sale.
Okay.
How did that song come about?
Yard Sale was a title I had in my phone probably for about 2 years up until the time we wrote it, maybe even longer. I'm a yard sale goer / thrift store lover. Anything secondhand, sign me up. So I had that title and I just didn't want to write it, as a typical, like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of different ways we could have gone about it. But for me, I love country music for the storytelling aspect. So I wanted to kind of put this in the setting of maybe a patron you had met at a dive bar somewhere, and this is the story that you have heard from down the grapevine. And I just love that. It's a third person song, and I feel like that's not done a ton anymore these days. It's still around, but I feel like it's not, I guess, people's first go-to. So Yard Sale was all about being sassy, about a woman you probably know or have known in your life in the past. And she don't take no shit. So I don't know if I can cuss on here, but
you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Was that one of those that after like having it in your phone for so long and just kind of like stirring with the idea of how you wanted to write that, when you got into the room, was that one of those that kind of came out quickly? Or was it because you had a certain way that you wanted to do it? Was it like very strategic and took a while to make it right?
Yeah, I think it definitely took a while because I think it was so myself, Casey Tyndall, and Lee Starr wrote that song. And when we first started it, we had it kind of in the first person setting as opposed to third person. We wrote it, I think, half the song like that. And ultimately, I think the song took 2 days to finish. But wrote it halfway through as it was not she, her. And then for some reason, I think halfway through, I was just kind of like, I feel like this is too niche. I feel like this is very niche to me. So we were like, what if we just go the classic way and the 90s way and write it third person. So I think the second time around, we ended up switching what's the word I'm looking for? Pretenses. That's English. And we ended up switching it up, and I think that's when everything kind of clicked for us finally. It was when it wasn't the I, me, and turned into she, her. So yeah, it took a little bit. And then we also recorded it 2 weeks later, which is, I feel like, kind of unheard of.
Yeah.
You usually sit with stuff before you record it, but we ended up recording that 2 weeks after. Originally, it was one thing. It was a little more heavy and driving, and then we re-recorded it into a bit more of like a bluegrassy, folky sound. So that song gave us a run for our money in multiple ways, but it ended up being one of my favorites.
Yeah. Can we hear a little bit of it?
Sure. All right. This is one of my favorite ones to play live. She stuck a neon yellow cardboard sign by the sign at the end of the street. Wrote in big old letters, made a post online, slapped a flyer on the door of the Me and 3, yeah. Folks started to show what she was out front smoking on a cigarette, waiting with a smile. No price tags or fold-out tables, it was all out there in a pile. She said $3, $4, $2 for $1. Buy one, get one, just name your price. The way you done me, I'm half inclined to let it all go. Free 90, 3 days to get it, never did so hell to get his shit off the yard sale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little attitude in there, but free 99.
I love it.
That is a dad/Piedmont term, and I was really excited to finally put that in a song.
I have not done a yard sale or hadn't done a yard sale and I don't know, like
we'll have
so
to change
long, but
that
I
for
grew
you.
up going like almost every weekend
Yeah,
with my mom. Like
that
that's
was
what we
the thing.
did, right? And we just did one a few weeks ago. As another we actually like sold a bunch of
like
stuff.
You hosted one.
We went over to a friend's house and partnered with them. Their whole neighborhood was doing.
Dang.
And so we
Y'all
like
didn't tell
loaded
me?
up a full truck and a trailer and took all this stuff over and like
Did you get some?
and it was like
get a
it
good
was-
turnover?
we did.
Good.
And then towards the end of the day, you know, like you're giving stuff away. You're just
I
like,
know. You're like,
you know, you're
take it.
negotiating in the morning and like at the end, I'm like, I'm not taking this home.
Yeah,
So
I'm not
just,
loading
yeah.
this all back up. Well, good.
but
I'm
yeah,
glad
it
it was a success.
Very nostalgic to like.
Did you sell any ex's stuff?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Perfect.
So, I want to dive into you've got the tone. It's like bold, unapologetic, just the Kid Rock's Cowboy.
Yeah.
Just a great song. Talk to me about the title and the lyrics behind that.
Yeah. So that one is one of those songs that actually came from a t-shirt.
No way.
Yes. You see, I mean, I love graphic t-shirts, and I feel like a lot of us do here in Nashville. And I did a photo shoot before I even moved to Nashville. It was like the first year that I moved. And the girl that was doing my pictures, she actually had a t-shirt that she was like, I think this would be so cute for you to wear in your pictures. And it said Kick Rock's Cowboy. And I just thought it was the cutest thing. So I wore it to a couple shows, and people started like making Kick Rock's Cowboys t-shirts. So it just kind of like clicked with everybody. So I think not long after that, I went back into the room with Jonathan Singleton and Shane Miner are the two people that I wrote the song
Great
with.
writers.
Amazing writers. And like, it's so funny that they're the ones to write Kick Rock's Cowboy with me. I think it was perfect. But had this title that I took in, and I feel like this is actually a song that we finished in a day, surprisingly. And this was back in 2020, I want to say, that we wrote this.
Okay.
Took the title in, and of course, Jonathan does what Jonathan does, and he starts spitballing and got the boots and hatch, got the neon smile to match. Literally, I was like, sold. That's the vibe we're going for right there. And pretty much what you hear it as now is exactly how, that's one of those ones that didn't really change from day one to where it is. I mean, granted, we put our own kind of spin on production and instruments and this and that and the other, but lyrically, sonically, it kind of was the full package, I think, the day that we wrote it. And I always knew that I loved it. And I love line dancing. I love Shania Twain. Like, that don't impress me much. Any Man of Mine. I think those were the things that we were trying to channel with that song. Just that kind of sass, sarcasm, but also not sarcasm. It's like, you're cute, but do you have your stuff together? So yeah, it just turned into like this fun little, powerful, confident anthem.
Is that one of those songs that when you're out playing it live, you just like, is that one that you just feed off of the fan reaction?
Oh yeah, I'm like ready to kick a door down with that one. So
ready to punch somebody.
Yes, exactly. You get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's meant to be kind of a fun song. I think the fellas are still trying to figure out how to take it. I'm like, hey, it's for the good guys. It's for the good cowboys out there. And really, you don't even got to be a cowboy. It's just, if you're a good person, I think I won't sing the song to you, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Brit Skin Beauty. Located in the beautiful Indulgence Medi Spa in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, Brittany is the go-to esthetician for facials, dermaplaning, microdermabrasion, waxing, lashes, and any skincare products and consultations. So many people in the music industry use her frequently, and her work speaks for itself. To schedule your next consultation or make an appointment, visit britskinbeauty.com or send an email to britskinbeauty@gmail.com.
That's great. Well, everybody listening has got to go listen to the full album. It's so good. Let's dive into one more. Let's talk about Wasn't the Chevy.
Yeah.
Was that based on personal experience?
It was probably multiple personal experiences, if I'm being honest. I think life has been interesting for me in the dating scene and like scene. My Piedmont's coming out. The dating scene and like just personal life in general. I think I've been on a personal journey with all of that, with love. And I wrote that song with Marla Cannon Goodman and Tranny Anderson, two of my all-time favorite writers.
Also amazing.
Literally, like, just soulmates in the writing room, I feel like. And Wasn't the Chevy was not actually my title. I want to say it was Marla, go figure, that came up with that idea. And I just remember, she sat in the corner for a little bit during our write, and I could see over there she was kind of stewing on something. I'm like, you never know with her, because you're like, okay, do you hate everything that I'm saying, or are you just over there coming up with a masterpiece? And
it's usually
the masterpiece.
Yeah.
And I can't quite remember who had the exact title, but I just remember somebody saying it wasn't the Chevy that drove him away. And I'm like, I still get chills thinking about it to this day, because I'm a sucker for some self-accountability, for some self-reflection. I love therapy. I don't know. I just think it's part of life and finding out more about yourself. And I think first instinct is to kind of be like, no, I don't want to be the bad guy in this song. Like, I don't want to be the villain, but I think there's a lot of people that can resonate with the fact of like things not quite lining up and you not being in the right place and time to be in a, relationship or a scenario you wanted to be in the first place. And I won't go too much into personal detail, but I think around that time I was talking with somebody, seeing a guy and blah, blah, blah. And hadn't really dated too many people in Nashville up until this point. But one thing I noticed about myself is I was always trying to like kind of not beat them to the punch, but in a way, I think it's kind of like hurt or be hurt in a sense. And at that time, I think I was just kind of scared of what was to come, and you push people away unintentionally, and you look back and you're like, I probably could have gone about that a lot better, but you live and you learn. And I think when Marla kind of started spitballing this idea and Tranny started playing her piano parts, and we knew exactly what we wanted to say. And that opened the top line, he wanted white picket fence Pollyanna, and I was still wrapped up in barbed wire. It's still me, unfortunately, till this day, but I think I've learned a lot more about myself over the process. So that song just felt very honest and raw And I think that's one thing I love about music is it gives you the opportunity to do that and not necessarily get fingers pointed at you. It's more of a relating point, than anything else.
I felt like that song kind of stood out on the album.
Thank you.
What do you think it is about that song that does that?
I think there's so many different things. I think the raw honesty. A lot of my songs that I have released have been more like fun and get the party going and sassy. But I think this one is much more like, no, this is my fault. I screwed up here, and it's emotional. There's no BGVs on that track. I mean, it's very much and that's unheard of for me because I love harmonies. I think harmonies add so much to music. But for this one, we wanted it to be kind of just like a diary entry, an open letter, and we wanted you to get pulled in from the words basically from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like the more honest and vulnerable you are, the more songs tend to raise their hand. So I can only hope that might be the reason.
Can we hear a little bit of that one?
Sure. That one is a doozy for me every time. Oh, let's see if I can get comfortable here. All right. He wanted white picket, Vince Pollyanna, and I still wrapped up in barbed wire. He was a slow burning, he'd kind of love her, and I was a full raging fire. I wish I could paint him the bad guy and blame him, but one thing I ain't is a liar. It was in that lead booth in the dead of the night. It was in that full tank, gassing up that goodbye. Yeah, he turned the key and fired up that V8 down a hell out of Dodge Highway, but it wasn't the Chevy that drove him away. That one, like I said, is a doozy. I swear, every time I get to verse 2 of that one, I'm like, I don't know if I can finish this one out.
I could see already getting emotional. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really nervous to do that one live in a good way because I think all music is supposed to do is evoke emotion and make you feel some type of way. And it's not, I think often that a song that I've written makes me still get emotional. But that one and an older one, Highway Like Me, I think those are two of the ballads that like really get me up in my feels. I don't know what it is. I do know what it is, but I think it's such a good thing. So we'll see how it goes live. I've been learning it on piano and everything, so
yeah,
might be even more gut-wrenching.
Oh my gosh, I'm just picturing like this spotlight with just you and the keys in the middle of a stage and just like, oh my gosh.
Here it is. I know. So I'm really looking forward to that moment in the set. Like I said, I think I don't have a ton of those. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think I get a little too comfortable over here. I don't think I have a ton of those moments in my set. I think I love honky tonkin' and country music, but those, I've always wanted a Jennifer Nettles stay moment. Yeah. And I definitely feel like, in a sense, that is my stay moment. So very thankful for that song. I think it's kind of healed a lot in me. And I hope it like connects me with people that are kind of going through the same thing. So getting all like teary eyed over here. So, anyways.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I mean, just like, again, it just such a great album. And that song specifically just really stood out.
Thank you.
It's just really good.
That is one of my favorites, I think, that I've written to date. So I really appreciate you saying that. And I hope everybody's enjoying all of it so far.
I asked that question a lot, and most people can't really answer that. You know, like what's the favorite song on the album, or like that you've ever written, or whatever. Right. And honestly, sometimes the answers that I have gotten is like, the favorite song is one that nobody's heard yet.
Right.
You know? Like it's
the deep cut, so to speak.
But yeah, so you think that's probably up there with one of your top ones?
I think for now, yeah. And I think that's the thing about us musicians. It's probably always constantly changing, but I think that is going to be a stronghold for me for a while. So yeah, I'm willing to say it's one of my top favorites. There's a lot of them, I think, for all different reasons, but I think as a songwriter, I'm still learning a whole lot. Like, I've only been professionally songwriting for about 6 years. And I think that was a pivotal moment for me, like in songwriting. So I think that's probably why it is so special to me. And then obviously Marla, she's written some of my all-time favorite songs.
Yeah.
Tranny has had so many amazing songs recently. So I feel like I've gotten to learn a lot over the past 6 years. But that song specifically kind of like opened a part of my soul and my heart that I think maybe hadn't been touched on yet. So yeah, it was special. It was important, I think, to write that one.
Yeah. When you have a song that you've written like that and you've played so many times, and you can still sit here with me without a crowd at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you're still getting emotional about it, like, you know, there's something special about that song.
There's something in it.
Yeah.
There's something in it that really pulls at my heartstrings. So I can only hope that people feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, you said you've only been writing professionally for about 6 years.
Yeah.
What was it like? Did you get pushed to write songs, or did you feel like, okay, like I have something to say and I'm not getting it with all these other songs that I could record? Like, what was that shift for you?
It was a lot. It was a couple different things. It's funny. I will tell anybody, like, growing up, I was the girl that thought everybody singing on the radio wrote that song.
Yeah.
Like, they wrote their own music.
So many people do still
and
today.
They do.
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't know that there was such a thing as like Music Row and, you know, some like pub deals
this
and all
job
this.
To go
literally,
in a room and write
I didn't know you could get paid to do it.
Yeah.
I think it was more of like, they say it so well, and I don't know that I can say it like that yet. And so I always knew I wanted to do music. And I think initially I thought that maybe I was just going to move to Nashville and like cut other people's songs. Again, had no clue how anything worked. But I knew, again, one, that like they said it so perfectly on the radio. I wanted to learn how to do that. I wanted to learn how to say things for myself. I knew at the time what I was writing did not sound like that. So I didn't let anybody hear, Dive Bar Beauty Queen being one of those songs. So I didn't really let anybody hear what I was writing. So it wasn't often that I did write back home. I moved to Nashville, and I think that is when I really finally started learning like how they do it, you know, what like the formulas, and not saying that that's necessarily all it is now, but I feel like it kind of helped mold me and kind of guide and direct me to be like, okay, this is what you want to say. This is how you get there. This is how you do kind of say it how you would prefer, you know? So I'm still learning every day. I feel like I'm a student to the craft 100%. I'm still learning. So I would not consider myself up there by any means. And I just want to learn everything that I can and study, and like, again, just listening to people that I love, like Marla and Jonathan and Shane. They all have such different ways of writing, but it makes sense at the same time. So I'm still learning to this day.
I think you have to. I mean, not just with what we do in music, but any career. Like, the minute that you decide, okay, I've learned enough, I'm good, I'm content, then you're done.
Yeah.
You know, like, somebody else is going to pass you up. So
yeah, just get stagnant.
Yeah.
And I think there's some people that are amazing at writing on their own and like they have their own thing. And I think I'm in the process right now of pushing myself to write more by myself, but also still very much taking notes and taking everything in from all the other co-writers that I get to share the room with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart. I'd love to get your reflection on, especially with, what you're talking about, like thinking that you're going to come and just cut other people's songs and just, I think so many people that move here don't really understand the full way that the industry works.
Yeah.
From thoughts like that to like, even the fact of like, oh, I'm just going to go there and I'm going to sing my songs like I do back home in South Carolina and I'm going to get a deal and it's going to just happen.
Which is the case sometimes,
Yeah. But yeah, like let's talk about like, you've had some amazing things happen. I mentioned earlier. And I mean, we are in the heat of summer right now, but it wasn't too long ago. I think May 30th, May 31st was your second time playing at the Opry.
Yes, it was May, I want to say 29th or 30th. Yeah, you're dead on it.
I remember because my mom's birthday is May 30th. So
I
remember
you go.
It was around then. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that because that was your second time playing the Opry, and like, how was that different than the first?
Yeah.
And then just kind of like the like reflect on like going back to like everything that you've done and like I'm gonna ask you a question at the very end that I do always. So I don't want to get too deep on this because we're gonna come back to this. But yeah, just like moving to town with whatever you had in your mind and now like what was that like just to play the Opry again?
Oh, well, first time I can say was completely nerve-wracking, but also like so exciting at the same time. You're stepping into this world and this building with like all this country music history. And I think for me, it's like you just don't take that lightly, I think is the biggest theme that I kind of picked up on the first time. It was such a complete honor, and you have imposter syndrome. You're like, who let me in here? Who is allowing me to do this? And I think the first time you're just trying to do your best to soak everything in and not screw up. The second time was very much, it was more of an opportunity to get to soak it in and be like, okay, how do I want to make this count, for me? So I'm really bad about like getting up there, getting through the songs and forgetting to like, I'll not even speak half the time because I'm just so nervous. So yeah, I don't know. I think Opry, like I said, it's the biggest deal. I think if you love country music, I grew up with my grandparents who listened to the Opry on the radio, and I had never even been till I think it was like my first time auditioning for The Voice, and my grandparents brought me to Nashville. They took me to an Opry show, and that was my first time ever. I was 18 years old. So I think everybody grew up with like a different image of the Opry, but for me, I just knew how big of a deal it was not to screw it up. And obviously it's like I want to continue to do that tradition. I think it's important for me as country music artist. So
what'd you sing?
First time I did Traveling Kind, and oh my gosh, put me on the spot. What did I do the first time? Traveling Kind was the name of my first record. Oh my gosh. Why am I blanking? Is it bad if I can't tell you?
Because it was one of those moments where you just like emotionally, you're at the Opry and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't even remember what I sang because this is just amazing.
I'm like, I can remember the first song. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll insert a clip later of something. It'll probably be me going, oh, I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I knew each time I wanted to make sure that I was singing music that like just said, here I am. This is me. This is my brand of country music. Little edgy, probably for the Opry. I try to definitely be careful about that too, about cussing and being a lady, not being too edgy, but the whole like team there too is they make you feel so welcome.
Yeah.
They make you feel comfortable. So that in itself is I'm very grateful for that because they're legends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's, as we wrap up, let's talk about like what you've got going on right now and where people can find you.
Cool.
You're kicking off the Dive Bar Beauty Queen tour.
I am.
So
Here
talk about that a little bit.
Yes, first headlining tour ever. I have been an opener for the past 6 years. Thankfully, it has been the best 6 years of my life, truly. And I think I've gotten the opportunity to meet so many people and go so many places and learn so much. And I think after 6 years, second album being out, I was like, I love opening, but I really, really, really want my own chance to do my own headlining tour. I want people to see, not just the 25 or 30 minute snippet of our set.
Yeah.
We've got so much to offer. I've got 2 records out. I've got singles out. I've been doing this for 11 years.
Yeah.
That Nashville aside, the 6 years here, I've been doing music for 11 years and trying so hard to build up my fan base and just go everywhere that I can. So I think we were just like, finally, we got to rip the Band-Aid off. It's going to cost some money. It's going to be a sacrifice. But to me, it was so worth getting to finally, tell people online, like, hey, we're going to be here. It's happening. We're doing this. You're going to hear a 90-minute set as opposed to 25. So I'm really looking forward to that. Tickets are cheap. So really, really hoping people will come out. And I'm just excited for people to hear old songs, new songs. I'm going to play some songs I probably hadn't even released yet. The songs that I wrote, I'll probably do songs that I wrote like 2 weeks ago. So we're going to keep it interesting, and I'm really looking forward to it. Bringing the dive bar vibes.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I've got some notes here. You're going to be, literally in just a couple months, you're going to be Montana, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Kentucky, South Carolina. You're just going all over the place.
We're hitting everywhere. So I hope y'all will join us. You got to come out to something.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll try to get something closer to Nashville, I guess.
I will jump in a plane and go wherever.
Okay.
I love getting out there on the road. And I love that you're doing the headlining thing, but also talk a little bit about opening, like being on the road with Luke Bryan. Like, what was your favorite moment about that?
Oh, man. Probably the getting up there, and he let us, the openers, us being, let us get up there and do Meet in the Middle by Diamond Rio with him at a certain point in his set. Best time ever. I was terrified at first. I wasn't sure what to expect from Luke Bryan with him being famous for as long as he has been. And I listened to him in high school, probably late middle school, if I'm being honest. So I really wasn't sure. They say, like, don't meet your heroes, blah, blah, blah. I got out there, and it was like he was one of, like, the fun uncle is literally what I would compare him to. He is so much fun, like, so willing to showcase all of us as openers. He gave us shout outs, and, like, he just lacks zero energy. He has 100% energy, and I'm like, I'm only 29. I want to know how you are the way you are after you've been doing this so long. So honestly, it was just getting to talk to him, pick his brain a little bit, and perform with him and see his just energy after all this time. And that gave me a second wind to keep just pushing and doing what I'm doing.
Did he ever pull a prank on you?
He didn't. The tour got cut short. Well, for us, it was like 2 nights for a weekend that we didn't get to finish it out. We were planning a prank. Sorry, Luke. I can't tell you what it is either. But yeah, we were planning one, and it fell through. It did not get to happen. So maybe he'll have us out next time, and we'll get to pull it then.
Yep. Well, Ashland, thank you so much for sharing some of your story.
Thank you for having me to share my story.
Yeah. I always end on this question. So if you can go back to 8-year-old you in South Carolina, now you are out with your headline tour and 2 albums. What advice would you give yourself today?
Dang. What advice would I give myself then or now?
Yeah. If you can go back to 8-year-old you, what advice would you tell 8-year-old you?
Oh, man. It's possible. I think mine is as simple as just like keep driving, keep trusting in your gut, keep trusting in yourself. I think there's been a lot of moments along the way where it's like, am I doing the right thing? Is this music thing even possible? Like, is it even worth anything? And knowing full well that it is, I think for me, that's like, I do this now because 8-year-old me needed that, needed this music. it got me through a lot of things in life. And I think I always saw it as a little bit far-fetched and like maybe it wasn't a possibility. But if I could go back, I would just say like trust in your instincts and don't change for anybody. Be yourself and keep doing what you're doing. It's gonna pay off. You're gonna be doing things that you're gonna be doing things that you never would have imagined. That were only in your wildest dreams. So it's crazy to think about. Yeah. Don't make me get emotional again. I'm not usually a crier, but y'all, you be pulling it out of me. I swear.
Well, thank you again, and sorry to make you cry.
It's all right. I'll forgive you.
And we will put links to all of your socials and tour and all of that on this episode. So everybody listening, check that out and make sure that you go support Ashland out on the road. Go follow her and buy her music.
Yeah, buy it.
Yes.
We like streams, but buys are better.
Yep, that's right. Buys are better. Thanks, everybody, for listening. This has been another episode of Stories Behind the Songs with Ashland Craft. We'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to another episode of Stories Behind the Songs with Chris Blair. Make sure to give us a follow on Spotify if you enjoyed this episode, and make sure you click that notification button so you can keep notified when new episodes come out. We release brand new episodes every Tuesday, and you can find us on YouTube at Stories Behind the Songs with Chris Blair or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to send us a comment letting us know what you thought of the episodes. We love getting your feedback, and share this with your friends. The more we grow, the more that we can keep doing this. It's our mission to bring you all of these great stories behind the songs from some of Nashville's most iconic artists and songwriters, publishers, producers, everyone in between, and a lot of my great friends. We love what we do, and we love sharing their stories with you. We appreciate all of the continued support. Thanks also to all of our sponsors, and we will see you all next week.